Hi there, this is Luke with Laughing Place, and I am here with Soffie Modin, one of the interview subjects of Tsunami, the latest Nat Geo documentary, as well as one of the executive producers of the series, Tanya Winston. How are you both doing?
Good, thank you for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. So just a couple of quick questions for you. First, Sophie, um, obviously you were a survivor of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami,
Yes.
which is what the show talks about. What was it like revisiting it for the series? And was that something that you had to uh, grapple with, if that was something you even wanted to revisit, or did you think it was more important to talk about it?
Uh, I took a good round of thinking about it before accepting the offer. But I think it's important to be like open about this, talk about it, share your story, etc. It's a new generation now. Maybe they don't know that much about it, and I think it's important to share. It's a different time now. We back 20 years back, we didn't have smartphones, etc. So it's important to tell that story. Um, yeah, no, just positive, positive about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like getting to hear the stories from people that were actually there and seeing the footage too, which you do in the series, is it's incredibly powerful, and I think it's a lot. You can kind of, it's very hard to like put yourself in those shoes if it's not something that you've done, but you can do so a little bit better, and I think feel that emotional weight when you hear it from someone that was actually there and involved.
For sure, for sure.
So how did being how did that influence your perspective on life and kind of your goals going on from there?
I think that you like, of course, the months after the tsunami, or I would say maybe the year after the tsunami, it was maybe everything I thought about all the time, searching
Yeah,
new information, etc. And me and my boyfriend at that time, we were pretty injured also, so it was a lot with hospital and stuff. Um, but like going on in life, and when I look back those 20 years, it's like you kind of live life. You don't take anything for granted. And try to just grasp any opportunity and live life. You never know. You never know what you get tomorrow. So yeah.
absolutely. And honestly, that's a great outlook. So it's great to hear that. And then Tanya, if I'm able to ask you, what drew you specifically to this project? Because I've looked at some of your past projects, and it seems like you've, kind of dealt with some more, let's say, some of the more deep things in life. So what kind of drew you to talking about this particular topic?
Yeah, I think at Blast Films, which is the company that made this series and that I work for, we try and find projects that have, we're definitely interested in history, recent history in particular, and historical stories that have like layers and nuance and purpose, and that sort of tell us about the wider world. So that's really key for us and for me as well as a filmmaker. I think this particular story had never been told in a definitive way. It was coming up for the 20th anniversary. There had been individual films that had been told, often about the Western tourist experience, but less so about the local experience, and never been told in such a broad, definitive way, using archive that hadn't been seen before, hearing such extensive testimony from survivors. So it felt like a project that could be a real record, like a historical document almost that people could look back on and it would stand the test of time. And that was really important to us. So yeah, it felt like a story that just deserved to be told for the voices of the victims and the survivors, and that was important to lay down for the future as well.
And I agree with you on that. I think, like I was mentioning before, seeing the footage and kind of having the timestamp of, this happened at 8:20 in the morning, and then getting those individual responses from the different survivors is really powerful, and I think it's a unique and well done way to tell the story. So good on it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then just kind of for both of you, um, you were mentioning, Sophie, that people of this generation may not know much about the story, and I know it was one of the biggest stories of the year when it came. So, what would you say would be a good tease or a good reason for people to watch this series specifically if they want to learn more about it?
Is that question to me or to Sophie? Do you?
To who, either of you for
Oh,
that one, yeah.
personally, I would say it's really compelling. Like, obviously, it's really worthy, it's really purposeful, but also it's just a really good watch. It's really compelling, it's really dramatic. Um, and it's kind of, so it's, hopefully we've made a series that has a very much a propulsive narrative that pulls you through, that you want to watch, you want to see what happens to these amazing individuals, and you're invested in their stories. And also it's just, dramatically speaking, the archive is unbelievable. It's really jaw-dropping. And to see that, and it changes as you get through the series, the archive in episode 1, which took place in Aceh in Indonesia, is very different to the archive in Thailand, where it's a more kind of classic giant wave. So it's just unbelievable material. And the contributors like Sophie are just, very compelling people to listen to.
I just think for like the generation now that they get a picture of how it was. Like
Mhm.
I have I have nieces and nephews that were like small kids at that time, and they were always like, "Yeah, but why didn't you swim? Why didn't you call home? Why didn't you step on an airplane?" Like it wasn't that easy at that time. Nothing works like it works today. So
Yeah.
I think for the younger generation, just to get like how it was and yeah, stuff like that. And if you're not like really into the tsunami and know that much, you get really like the full picture of all countries, how the tsunami behaved in different countries. And yeah, I think you get like a really good intel on everything.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Well, thank you both. I think that's all I have. Uh, for those of you watching at home, Tsunami Race Against Time comes to National Geographic on November 24th, and you can stream it on Hulu and Disney Plus. Thank you both.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.